the course, 201.9 kilometers, setting off from Croix-Ragnon, and I mean, very similar in many ways to the women's race, in that you end up on this circuit that they will take on more than once before they head back through Croix-Ragnon and then down onto the circuit that is taken on 3 times round Dour, to the south of Croix-Ragnon here, which is where we've just witnessed the women's race, but the bit that's tagged on for the men, obviously that first bit up around Luz de Hainaut, Fin-les-Bouzenelles and Autrep to the north. A 26.9 kilometre circuit taken on 3 times. And they set off a little earlier today, just as the women did, in the sunshine down at the start at Croix-Ragnon. And up front, Wessel Krul of the Netherlands, sitting just in front of Theo Nunes, and a number of riders involved in the breakaway at present who you wouldn't necessarily expect to be out in front, and this breakaway currently comprising 6 of them. Well, Davide Ballerini has just headed off up the road, and he's being pursued here relatively quickly by Circus Wanty-Gobert, who didn't have many riders involved earlier on, but they've managed to pen things back. Davide Ballerini being pursued by 3 riders there from the 4 riders from the Circus Wanty-Gobert team, and as you can see, they have opened up a gap of, well, it must be about 50 metres over the remaining peloton, and riders trying to bridge across to that group now, obviously concerned that that group has been given the opportunity to move up the road. And once again we see Janse van Rensburg, who's been involved in plenty of the action up towards the front of this race, wanting to get back on terms. The lead of the race, he's got around 20 riders in this second group sitting behind him. 2 of those riders come from the NTT Pro Cycling team, in the shape of Michael Gergel and Giacomo Nizzolo. And also last year's winner sits comfortably in the mix. Alex Kirsch from Trek Segafredo making his way towards the front. There's Michael Gergel, and he sits just in front of Venturini, a rider who was mentioned earlier on by Magnus as someone in very good form indeed. And when you come to Circus Wanty-Gobert, Aimé de Ghent is sitting there with Timothy Dupont, Andrea Pascalon and Loïc Fliegen. They are the 4 riders in those bright yellow helmets that you can see very clearly there. Venturini coming towards the front of this group to try and pull things along. This is the group that is in pursuit of Davide Ballerini of the De Koning Quick Step team.
I think that's Roy Jans from Alpes in Phoenix in the blue, just hiding now as well behind the Circus Wanted rider. Had a great ride on Kuurne-Brussels-Kuurne in the breakaway for a very long time. Venturini's looking strong here as well, going up this little climb here on the cobblestones. And there is definitely no holding back in the power that he was putting into that.
Hugo Hofstetter sitting at the back of the group. Around 14 riders, I think I counted there, on to the Côte de Nonette. 4% once again, not the hardest of climbs, but an opportunity perhaps for Tim de Klerk to ratchet up the pressure on those behind and try and shake off some of the fast men. Seneschal comes onto the front. Kirsch glances over the shoulder. Nizzolo, De Ghent, and then you have Dries van Gestel in the colours of Total Direct Energy, and the hammer goes down from Kirsch. Seneschal looking for the response. Alex Kirsch swings round and looks over his shoulder, sees that sitting just behind him is last year's winner Florent Seneschal. Giacomo Nizzolo at the moment is being distanced, coming out the back of the group. There's no chance here for Lionel Tamino of Belgium, but these riders once again back together, and the attacks are looking. De Ghent, and here goes Venturini. Venturini with Decker coming up the inside.
That was a really expensive effort there for Alex Kirsch, making an attack that late and it not sticking. I think that is going to really hurt his chances of winning this sprint here now. But Gianni Vermeersch sitting in a very good position here now behind Venturini. Venturini
looking to wait to open this one up. Venturini hits the front. Emmet again sitting there in third wheel. Nizzolo has vanished. Coming through comes David Decker. David Decker sliding past Decker, but it's going to be on the inside. And coming through to claim victory is Hugo Hofstetter. Huge win from Hofstetter, who looked as though he'd slid behind, lost contact with the main group. And it is a massive victory for the Israel Startup Nation team. Limping across the line comes Lionel Tamino, who was distanced in that run into the line. What a victory that is from Hofstetter. It is a victory for France once again in this race, and you can just see just how delighted Hofstetter is to have come through there when all eyes are on Decker and Venturini on the right-hand side. He came like a train up the right-hand side, and now the emotion takes its grasp on the 26-year-old. 6th in Kuurne-Brussel-Cannes, so he was in very good form. But that is the biggest win of his career by some distance. Won a stage in the Tour de l'Ain a couple of years ago, and 5th in the Eschborn-Frankfurt race last year. But I mean, this is a massive victory for Hugo Hofstetter, who looked at this stage as though he wasn't really going to be in contention.
He's sitting in fourth wheel here, and actually, by the virtue of Venturini opening up the sprint so early, he's getting a perfect run and just manages. Yeah, he's got the legs in the end, and clearly got the legs on everyone else as well. So that was a great effort. But it was just on pure willpower. No one had any legs left.
He got led perfectly by Emmet again through to the finish line. And Hugo Hofstetter.
Yeah, it was a perfectly timed sprint, and clearly the one who managed to somehow find that little bit more energy right at the very, very end, as everyone was on their knees after an exceptionally hard race. And like I said in commentary, it's been a hard race in a different way, in that there's been so many attacks all the time, and obviously the circuit is very, very hard as well, in that there's no real respite anywhere to sort of settle down. You're always looking for position. So that was a really good win for Hofstetter.
Good day for France. 3 riders in the top 5. A superb performance as well from David Decker, who came through in 3rd.